Hey guys, welcome to RoseJayCreates. Today I wanted to show you how I use a silicone mold that I normally use for paperweight holders and turned it into photo holders. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you. So I've already mixed equal parts epoxy resin and equal parts hardener. I've stirred for 2.5 minutes, and then you want to let it sit for an additional 5 minutes, which allows the air bubbles to come to the top and it gives you a clear finish. So as you can see, I'm pouring the solution into the molds and it's very clear, it's very see-through. Although if you're going to make paperweights and you're going to add pigment color, which is what I'm going to be adding later, you don't necessarily have to wait for the bubbles to get clear. I just decided to let it sit for an additional 5 minutes and wanted the air bubbles to come up to the top. And I had a little bit of resin left, which I didn't want to waste. So I poured it into one of these metal tins that I was making for my grandson. And each and every time I put a layer of resin, I add stickers to it. So it gives the illusion of the fishies kind of swimming around in the tin. So right now I am adding my pigment color. This is magenta pink, and I'm just adding a few drops. And then I'll go behind that and add white on top of that, and just keep repeating the same thing over. I'll do a few drops of magenta, a few drops of white. Speed this part up here.
You said what happened?
So right now all I'm doing is adding more pigment color, and then I'm adding white on top and repeating it over and over and over. This is yellow that I'm adding, and then I'm adding white drops on top. I've also done orange. And I also wanted to create a gray one for my sister who wanted me to create a gray paperweight holder. Even though I don't have the gray one there yet, I went back and mixed some more solution and decided to create one that was gray in color. So all I'm doing is creating orange and white, pink and white, yellow and white. I'm just going over and over and over. A drop of orange, a drop of white, a drop of pink, a drop of white, a drop of yellow, a drop of white. And you just repeat it about 5 times until you can get the consistency that you want. When you unmold it, it'll look like a marbling effect. Or you can take a toothpick and swirl the colors and it looks like a swirling effect. It's all according to how you want it, but just try it and see what you think. And I'll just keep doing it over and over and over. Pink and white, yellow, white, orange, white, until I'm satisfied with the amount of pigment that I have in it. And it's going to be amazing once you're unmolded and you see the end result. So right now I'm mixing some more equal parts solution because I decided I wanted to make a fourth mold and I wanted to use gray. But I don't have gray in a squirt bottle. I do have it in a powder form, so I had to mix it in another little cup. So I'll be mixing that in a little bit. In the meantime, I'm still adding more color to the molds because I want them to look vibrant and bright, and I want the colors to really pop. So right now that's the gray mica powder that I've mixed in a little cup. I wish I had it in a squirt bottle. It would kind of squeeze out a little bit more evenly. But I have it in powder form. So I'm mixing that and pouring some more equal parts resin and hardener. This time I did not let it sit for 5 minutes. I did mix it for 2.5 minutes. And as you can see, it's not as clear as the other three were. I didn't need to let it sit because I'm adding color to it. As long as the air bubbles were, out of it, that I was happy with it. If you mix it for 2.5 minutes, the air bubbles come to the top. And letting it sit for 5 minutes, the air bubbles immediately come to the top. You let it rest because you've mixed it and you've worked it. So right now, I've let it sit for a few minutes. I don't necessarily need to let it sit for an additional 5 minutes, but I just let it sit for a few minutes. And I'll get a wooden spoon and just kind of skim off those few bubbles that came on the top. And now I'm going to start pouring my gray in. I'm pouring it into a tiny little cup. And it's coming out in drops instead of squirts, which is fine. The end result is that you'll get to create what you want, and it's unique. And I'm going to add some white to it now. And I'll add some more gray. And it's sort of like me pouring it a little bit more than squirting it in. I'm going to add some more white on top, just like I did the other ones, back and forth, back and forth. The first three ones, the orange one, the pink one, and the yellow one, I wanted to create a marbling effect. The gray one, I wanted to create a swirling effect. So once I'm done adding the color, I'm going to get a toothpick and I'm going to sort of swirl back and forth to create a swirling effect. And I'll show you the end result once it's done. It's almost done, and I'll show you what I did. Once I've unmolded, I decided rather than keep them as paperweights, I decided to make photo holders out of them. And I let it sit for 24 hours because resin always has to sit for 24 hours. And this is the end result. I decided to add some embellishment on it. Thank you for tuning in as always. Please like, comment, and subscribe.